And we're back. Like clockwork, huh? Impressive, impressive. We are actually running on time very smoothly. Even with all the problems we had at the auction today, 7 o'clock, like a card culture on the 15th of every month. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you must be a non-member. Remember, we have members and we have non-members in the room. So members, you know what I'm talking about. But non-members, Card Culture is the digital magazine that members get every month on the 15th, like clockwork. Also, there's something called the CTD, or Clear the Decks. That's the printed magazine that you get quarterly. Again, these are just some of the amenities that you get if you're a member of the club. So if you're a non-member right now, open up your chat, press a bunch of ones. We want to see who you are. We're not going to make fun of you, I promise. We just want to find you. We want to talk to you. We want to explain to you how great this club is and why you need to be part of our club. You need to be a member. So 52plusjoker.org, click on join us, and it's the best 25 bucks you will spend all year, I promise. Okay. Are we having fun yet? Are you guys having a good time? I mean, is this not incredible? People from around the world. We have Australia, we have England, we have America, we have Canada, we have South America. Like it's incredible, right? Is this amazing? Throw some ones in the chat room. I want to see the ones just flooding the area. Just put ones. By the way, if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say ones, that's a virtual applause. I can't see you and I can't hear you. So I have no idea how elated you are or how mad you are. But the way that I can find out is by seeing the ones in that chat room. There we go. I see the chat's going crazy. You guys are amazing. So next up, before we get to next up, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Something very important. Before we move forward, I have got to thank some people. And I've been thanking them all day. I'm going to keep thanking them all the way till the end because I'm going to get the credit for how amazing this is. But the truth is, all of these people are the ones that should get the credit, right? My job is the easiest of them all. I just get to talk all day. But everybody else has to put out fires and make sure that the lights are on and then the internet's streaming and the Zoom room's on. So I'm going to go one by one. Keith Brown. Let me see some ones for this guy. He is our master wizard stream tech. He's been making the day run as smoothly as possible, even with all the hiccups. Oh, yeah, that's right. Ones. He deserves every bit of your love. His partner in crime, John Patterson. You can't see him. Trust me, both of these guys are doing an incredible job. They're the silent killers, as I like to say. Give them so much they deserve love. Also, in the chat room, you'll notice that there are people that have the word helper in front of their names. This is in case you have any problems. They're there to help you. They're there to make sure your experience as great as it could possibly be. So, Ann Giusti, Don Boyer, Steve Bowling, Harry Wastrack, Brian Sarlo, Kristen Patterson, Dave Hoffmeister, all of you guys, thank you so much for helping everyone in the chat room and just being awesome. Also, before all this got going, I had some people helping me push the marketing and spreading the word. Ender's Game. I don't know if you read any of his articles. They're fantastic. His name is Richard. He's from Australia. Really, really fantastic. I can't speak highly enough about him. He put out a wonderful article about Tom and Judy Dawson and grading your playing cards right before the convention to get everybody excited. Mwah! Chef's kiss to you, sir. Also, we have the Decking Around crew, Tyler and Steve. You guys rock. These two actually went ahead and pre-interviewed some of our talks and some of the people that are important at this convention. And so if you get a chance, go to YouTube, type in Decking Around with an N, and you're going to find all these wonderful videos. They've been interviewing people for months now. Some of the greatest designers, cardists, magicians you can think of. It's on their roster. So guys, thank you so much for all of your help. And finally, we have Chris Mayhew. All these great, cool animations flying in and out and all this stuff. That's all his doing. He's the director of Lost Art of Magic. He's been an incredible help to me. So Chris, if you're out there, mwah, thank you so much. And if there's anyone else, like guys like Steve Bowling, for instance, who did all this incredible work on the auction, thank you. Again, I'm going to get all the credit, but really, it's all of these people who deserve your love. So let's put some ones in right there for you. That's for all of you guys. Okay, I hope you're ready. Let me bring up my intro. So with thousands of followers around the world, Mike Quinn, better known as a Decade, spreads playing card joy, wonder, and love with his social media posts. True to his namesake, he posts different deck every day, bringing the world closer, teaching them about playing cards that they need to know about. Quinn has been kind enough to open his home and allow us into his man cave and show off his incredible modern card collection. So, without further ado, start popping those ones into the chat. Stand to your feet and help me welcome Mike Decade Quinn. Hello, Mike Quinn.
Hey, Lee, how in the world are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I haven't slept in 60 days, but I'm doing all right.
I'm guessing today's been just monumental for you.
Actually, you know what? It hasn't been as hard as you think. I've got all this tremendous help around me and all this love in the chat room. So no, it's been great, man. It's really been great.
There you go.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Because I know you and I have been talking about this for a while.
And we have.
Okay.
This has been one of those things for me that's been nerve-wracking to some degree, but also can't wait to do it.
Good. Because I know there are people in the chat room, no pressure, that cannot wait to see what you've got to show us. So before we get into that, really quickly, just tell us how you got into playing cards. Actually, I know your story. So really quickly, tell everyone how you started collecting playing cards.
Well, collecting playing cards came through the Magic community. After many years of laid off in the Magic community, I was back in. I never was a card aficionado. Couldn't even hardly pick up a deck and shuffle one, actually, if you want to know the truth. But when that very first deck came out in our community, like a tiger back, it was so much different than a regular deck of bicycle playing cards that, of course, you just had to pick one up. And it kind of started there, and Lord knows it's just ended up into an obsession or sickness or whatever you want to call it now.
An addiction.
But yeah.
Now you used to collect with your grandson, right? That's what I remember. My notes say that you got into it with your grandson. It was something to kind of bring you closer to your grandson.
Yeah, I'm a father. Let me say this. I'm a dad to 6 kids and a grandfather to 8. So as it goes, kids will start off wanting to do things, and he started wanting to do the card collecting. And of course, he left me for video games, but I continued on in the spirit. He would want me to. So now here I am all these years later, and buried in playing cards.
Yes. I got to take a tour as a test. So, okay, enough of us talking. People they're screaming in the chat room, show us, Mike, show us. So if you would, please begin.
Well, we'll start off with something, but before we do, I got to throw this plug in there. You got to see that brand of the Jet Setter playing card.
Absolutely.
But let's see if we can turn this camera around, and we'll try to take it slow, guys. I realize that by watching some of this today that just holding things up and popping them out, it just doesn't work well. So I'll try to make it slow. If there's something that catches your eye, we can always go back. So without further ado, here we go. Get it off the sticks, as they say. All righty. We'll start over here with this meager part of the collection, which is mainly just brick boxes down the bottom. But then it kind of gets into a little bit different things here. Here we go with some of the brands, Fontaine and the Cherries. Everybody's got to be in that brand. And then, of course, we know we got to move down a little bit. We've got
can you zoom in on that? Look at that. Zoom in on that, Mike.
Which one, the deck?
Yes.
Yeah, you might recognize that deck. But that was a cool piece that was put out a few years ago, and unfortunately, you just can't get it anymore. I told you the story about it. The lady's husband that created that, once he passed away, he wanted all the royalties in the world for it, so they just were having a cease and desist order to stop making it. So sad.
That's so cool.
But here's a cool thing. For you guys that like to frame your decks and put them up on the wall, I just don't have the real estate to do them all. there's the deck. But here's something interesting Sherman created, where you can put the matching deck in a frame and in one of his carrot cases on the wall to match
Wow.
that. So that's a pretty neat thing. I don't know if Sherman's still making those, but that really is cool.
Sherman, if you're here, I think I saw you in the room. Let us know, man. That's fantastic.
That is fantastic. And of course, there's Paul Rucchio. We can't leave him out. There's the new deck he was talking about that he's just brought out, but
The
behind it is
Terminal 2.
some that, my gosh, you can't even put your hands on. So those are close, near and dear to the heart. Whoops. Then, of course, we can't leave out Jackson Robinson. He's always good for about a bazillion decks to display. So,
Those are
half
all
this
so
room could
beautiful.
be just half this room could be Jackson. um, Here's the triangle decks that I thought were interesting, which
Yeah, those are
I
so
brought
neat.
out. And I guess I'm going to have to find a few spares so I can get my boy Lee one of those. Again with the Fontaines. Oh, here was an interesting piece that Vanishing Ink did. It was done after a magician that they put it all together. And on his travels, he had the deck, the compass, the telegram, the tickets for the train. It was kind of a neat little set put together.
That's very cool.
That is
I
very
think that
cool.
also emphasizes what Paul was just talking about with accessories and adding like lifestyle branding to just more than playing cards.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we know we have another designer. I don't know if he's in yet, but Mr. Paul Carpenter, and then his Encarded brand, which, golly, I just love that man. He
Oh yeah,
modest, but boy, does he put out some fun stuff.
yeah.
And
He
of
did a
course,
club
we
deck
can't.
for us. It was so beautiful.
Golly, what are you talking about? He does some really pretty stuff. You'll see some more of his over there. And of course, the mad scientist of the card creating world is, none other than Lautrec. I mean, my goodness. So
Yeah,
you
he's
just can't you
incredible.
can't have a collection unless you don't have Lautrec in it. But you might recognize that one right there, Lee.
Yeah, Conjure Community. I saw that. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to play favorites, but yeah.
So there they are. We'll move around a little bit. Um, Card fountains were done by a friend of mine, Keith
Oh, these are
O'Brien.
fantastic. Everyone, look at this. Keith O'Brien, right? Is this the man who created
Yeah,
this?
this was one of
These
his
are
first
wonderful. He
ones.
makes it out of any deck that you want, and it looks like the cards are just spilling out. And, oh, I love this. I love this.
Well, I had him commission a special one that I'll show you here in just a minute.
Maybe we could get that Norwood 85 deck in the auction and make one out of that. That would be fun.
There we go. And of course, you got to have Fultons in the spotlight because a modest guy, but he sure does come up with some fun ideas. And
Yeah.
that's a good brand.
Yeah, Brad Fulton's an interesting guy.
He really is. Can't be complete without his bazillion carrot cases. Sherman is trying to make me the top carrot case collector in the world. So I think that he's made
Well,
sure that he's
you're gonna
tried
get like
to.
a Lucite Cadillac after you sell
Yeah,
like 1,000 carrot cases. Is that what's gonna happen?
that's exactly what's going to happen. But then the carrot cases are just filled everywhere. I just couldn't get them all out, but there is a lot of the carrot cases that are there.
Oh, this is beautiful, Mike. This is really beautiful.
And of
You've got it
course,
laid out so nice.
you got to get there's the grandbabies gumball machine. We just had to have that. But those are half brick boxes down there, and those are interesting too. Some of the way they branded some of those.
Pull one out. Let's see what you're talking about.
These half brick boxes, like let's look at squeezers, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me get a good handle on that. That looks like a box of grapefruit juice,
Yeah, it
and,
does. That's so cool.
that's 6 decks of cards. And
That's
then, of course,
lovely.
you have some of the others. But yeah, there's just all kinds of great half deck boxes that they put together. And of course, you can't have a complete collection without the planets. There's a
Oh,
regular
I
edition and
love
the
those. I love
limited.
those.
Yeah, they really are cool. Um, that's beautiful. And I think Mr. Pluto is right up here on the top.
There he is.
So he's the smallest of the small. All right, let's move on a little bit over
Wait,
this
go back,
way.
go back, go back, go back.
Yeah,
I saw some
sure.
photos. Go
You
on those photos
did.
for a second. Are those Daniel Kohler photos?
Those are Daniel Kohler photos.
Nice.
Daniel has, man, he really got into that for a while. I don't know if he's still doing it, but those are near and dear to my heart. He sent those to me personally, and God, I love them. I've got several others I haven't gotten up yet, but those are two of my favorites right there.
Yeah, he does some really great work. He's a member of the club. I don't know if we'll see him because of the time difference, but it's nice to see him on your wall, Mike.
It is. It's fun to have him on the wall. Of course, my daughter and her husband do vinyl albums, and they found that album there. I'm not familiar with the band, but it was a its album cover was a deck of cards, so it's kind of neat.
Oh, that's great. Remember, was it the Grateful Dead had a
Blackjack.
some kind of yeah, I don't know if it was blackjack, but similar to that. It was definitely a tally ho back. It seems like non-playing card experts always gravitate toward tally ho back. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is interesting. But I thought that was kind of cool. They gave me that for a little gift. I just don't open decks that much, but here are my few open decks down here in the bottom. And those are just places to put more cards, stuff more things in. And I guess we can get up here and let's make a little bit out of that. A lot
Okay.
of those coins on the top are the ones that came with some of the Kickstarter projects. And I just can't put them all out, but that's a pretty good representation of some.
Absolutely. Those are
Particularly
all of the
like that little
decks that were
sheriff
on
deck.
Kickstarter. Those are coins that came
Yeah,
with Kickstarter decks.
a lot of them did, yes. So those are really neat. Of course, I love puzzle boxes and boxes that contain cards and things like that. So most of that up there, the pyramid on the top, you secretly turn it. A little drawer comes out and it holds a deck of playing cards.
Show us, show us, show us.
Oh, I don't even know if I can man the camera and do that, but we'll see if we can't get to that here in a minute.
Okay.
I promise we'll try. I'll set this down and see if I can't do it. Um, and then the Japanese puzzle boxes are my favorite, but they're expensive, but I love them. This is really cool. You know, there's a guy over in the UK that made the octopus, and it was to go with the If an Octopus Could Palm deck, and
Yes.
I thought that was so cool. I had to add
He's
it
a
to the
member of the
collection.
club.
Yeah,
Yes,
is he
I think
really?
yes he is. I think this is a fantastic way to show that octopus palms deck. Really fabulous.
I love it. And of course, this thing, I swear, you could beat someone half to death with it, but it is the most beefy car clip I've ever had in my life. But it is so cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look,
Crooks and
there aren't a
kings,
lot of things that I see and go, I need that now. But these two items right here, they're definitely on the top wish list. Really great.
they are great. They really, really are cool. Like I say, puzzle boxes that you might or might not be interested in. Dan, here's the Bitcoin puzzle. I've never opened it up, but one day maybe I might take on the task.
My suggestion is to hold on to those decks because one day they'll be worth more than Bitcoin.
Probably. Of course, here's my Ricky Jay section down here. I don't know why I have a little obsession with Ricky Jay, but I just do. Collecting his books and pieces and parts and things are just a whole lot of fun. So,
Yeah, he was.
um,
What can we say about Ricky that hasn't already been said? And those
absolutely.
decks are awesome. I actually played with one before.
No, I mean, I couldn't defeat. There's no way I could take those out.
Well, if you ever do, they're actually a very good deck of cards.
No, 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 no. Um, yeah,
Wait, go back, go back, go back.
what you want?
Right
Which
there,
way?
right there.
Standards? Standards, this was a
Look at that.
beautiful box that they had put together. This in this lighting, it doesn't even do it justice, but let's see if that'll open up. So they started with three. They just recently put out another one, and then there's a slot for two more that they'll be producing. And but the box is unbelievable. It is so beautiful. It
Yeah,
is. I
that's
don't know
gorgeous.
what they've done with it, but it
That's
shines.
Kevin
It's
Cantrell Studios.
yeah, that's art to play.
Yeah, Art of Play did I think with Kevin Cantrell Studios. I could be
It
wrong.
might be. That's a great question, but
Yeah, I
it is a
whomever it is,
beautiful
that's
box.
gorgeous.
Oh God, it really is. And of course, we had the Iron Clay collection.
Yes.
Um, a few impossible bottles.
Pull one out first, will you? Pull one
Jamie
out.
Grant is just my all-time favorite there, but somebody might notice that one.
So for the non-magicians in the room, that's actually a deck of cards inside a bottle. How cool
And
is
this
that?
is this is a real Canadian milk bottle. This is
Hmm.
not your typical, and believe me, Jamie has been brought into Ripley's. Believe it or not, he makes some of the most. In fact, he makes the best deck in a bottle I've seen, and I've got others, but his is absolutely the best. And you can see it's just a Canadian milk bottle.
Now, to be fair, Canadians drink milk out of a bag, not so much a bottle. But
Right.
yes, he bought them in Canada. This is true.
I thought it was just a special bottle, but no, that's
No,
an
no, it's a
actual
legit
Canadian
bottle.
milk bottle. And down on the bottom, of course, is, well, I think we can all recognize some
Oh
of that
yeah.
handiwork.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
sure he'll be releasing some. Alex will be.
We uh we cannot deny nor confirm. But if I were you, I'd be there at the new deck launch.
Yeah, let's see if I can open this British box. My wife's British, by the way, so that's a little tribute to her. But inside there are two of the most beautiful decks by Lautrec I've ever seen. They just almost look like leather, the cases, but they are just gorgeous.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are
those are
absolutely beautiful.
just gorgeous.
And I see you have the Magna Cartas all the way in the left corner there.
Oh, yeah. It's just got to be done.
Yeah.
Alex does such a good job, everything he's practically done, and I get my hands on it. I put my hands on it. So I love him. He's a good man, good
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. All of these
And
designers are top notch, man. You have
oh
such great
God,
taste, Mike.
who you tell? All those are cart clips. Um, I got a few people that I would like to blame for that, but I won't mention their name. And I started off with a few card clips, and Lord knows I've got more than I need now. But
And again, for the
no,
non-magicians in the room, Mike, can you pull one of those card clips out and just show us what is a card clip? If you're not into magic, you might not know what this is.
well, this is just a clip to keep your playing cards in top-notch condition. So for those that are out there performing playing cards or card tricks, of course, your decks start to take on a little wear, but you can protect them and put it in a card clip. It has enough pressure to keep your cards nice and straight and fresh at all times. But there are folks out there that have just gotten absolutely sick with putting together these card clips, and it's like a gold snake skin that's just nuts. But
I had a pair of pants that looked like that once.
man, I don't believe I'd have told that one right there, Lee. Now I kept that one. Of course, this was a toughie to find, but we all know who he is, and that came out of one of the old magazines. It was a centerfold from the old 60s, 70 magazines, and
That's
tracking it
Doug
down.
Henning for anyone that has no idea who we're looking at.
I was gonna say,
Very famous Canadian magician.
yes, it was, and that was a really cool poster. Some more Jackson Robinson back here.
Nice. Yet it seems like Jackson's on such a prolific release list here that we're all gonna have to move to bigger houses.
Oh yeah,
Right? Doesn't that
yeah.
seem that way? Like I'm gonna have to talk to my wife about moving. We just need a bigger space for Jackson's decks.
No, no kidding. Jackson just pops them out left and right. These are little fun things that my grandkids love to play with. These are just tiny little puzzles and oddball things, but the girls absolutely love coming down and dragging them out and playing with them. But here's something really cool right
Oh
here.
my God! Look at that!
And that was
Ladies and
last
gentlemen, you
year's.
better be throwing ones in this chat room right now.
And this thing
And
will
it spins.
It will
Oh
turn and
my.
rotate,
This
but
is Randy Butterfield's 2018 club
sorry.
deck made into a sculpture by Keith O'Brien. This is incredibly wonderful. God, I love that.
It is
Mike,
pretty.
zoom in for me, please.
I can get you in there. How close you want to be?
I want to see what number is on the seal.
Oh
No, I'm
my.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Back up. I just want to see it. I just want everyone to
And
see how cool this is.
201. But
Man,
yeah, it is absolutely stunning. Yeah, we got to playing around with different ideas. He'd never done anything but just some bicycles and was starting to do some different ones. So I threw him this one. And then I sent him two other things. And I said, I'm going to stretch you and challenge you a little bit. And he said, please tell me what it is. I said, I'm not telling you. So I sent him a jumbo deck. And he made this
what?
colossal,
That's great.
absolutely colossal giant one. But then, as an added bonus, we threw in this one. And this
Oh
one is a
wow,
lot of fun. It
just
sits
great.
up and it spins, and that's out of a miniature deck. So,
Yeah, and half of it's face up, half of it's face down. Just
absolutely, it looks
the
like
detail, just the bends in the card, everything. Keith is an artist. This is I love this.
he's just released some new ones that you can now hang on the wall if you don't want to have to set them on your floor or whatnot. Here we go. This is an actual piece of wood from, I think it was an 18th century battleship. And
See if you can get any closer, Mike. See if you can get any closer for us. There you
sure.
go.
And they actually etched in the We the People. And, you know, I just tried to find some fitting decks to kind of put in it. But that is so cool that that was an actual floating battleship at one point in time. And wow,
Yeah.
I don't even know. Just touching the wood itself, it just is, that's amazing.
Don't touch the wood, Mike. This is a friendly family show.
Yeah, no, it's family show. I got it. And somebody made me this nice little clock, which I thought was kind of cool. Don't know why I didn't think about doing that. That's easy to do, but it sure is cool.
Fun.
And I think you told me you had something to do with this, Mr. Asher.
I might have.
Well, you always got something to do with
I might
something.
have.
You got your finger in a pie.
Your faithful, yeah, your faithful president likes pies, and he's got constantly got his fingers in them.
There you go. Well, it's kind of neat. It's a clock that kind of came off after the post office released its stamps for the Magic community, and that is the Magic set below it that they put out.
That's right. There was a
So
deck of cards, and there was a book with magic tricks by Matt King.
there he is.
Yep.
I haven't opened it because just those kind of guys. I don't know why. I just don't open things. But Monarchs, and of course we could have to go with David Blaine. He's
Very cool. Very
so much
cool.
fun, and but in this show, then right there's probably 2,500 to 3,000 decks just sitting in that shelf.
I know you can't see this, you probably can't hear it, but Keith Brown, my stream tech, he is in awe. He's not really, I mean, he's a magician, but he doesn't collect playing cards. Maybe after this convention he will. But he is in awe of this.
Well, we're gonna try to do something fun for the holidays. So you guys watch out. If you're not following a deck a day, you know, not trying to grab followers, but you might want to see what we do for Christmas because it's going to be really cool.
So really
That's all
quickly,
I'm
how
going
do
to
they
say.
follow you? They go to Instagram to follow you?
Yeah, I'm not a big social media guy, and of course I had that account for years and did nothing with it because I really didn't know what to do. And then it dawned on me, Mike, you got enough playing cards. You could post a deck a day for the next 5 years. I run out of decks to post.
Yes, sir.
So I have been posting, trying to stay true to it, a deck every day. And
No, that's you're
about,
doing a huge service to the community, man. I know that you don't necessarily hear that out loud from a lot of people, but I'm telling you, as the president of the world's largest playing card collectors association, you are doing a great service to the community. You're teaching people about decks that they would have never otherwise known about.
well, it's pretty cool. At this point, I've backed about, this is probably embarrassing more than a brag, 1,000 Kickstarter projects. But I put these frames together, kind of more of a social thing. I wanted these to be fun playing cards, not so much serious collector cards, as I just wanted it to be when you walk in, your eyes just don't know where to go because they're just darting to every little fun card that you can see up there. And there's just so many there. They're just so much fun.
Oh yeah. I'm sure
Um,
everyone right now that's watching is focusing in on a deck that they actually can recognize. And there's
oh,
like
yeah.
the rest of the decks they cannot recognize because you've got such an incredible collection, so diverse. Really, like everyone, throw some ones in the chat room. Show this man some love.
And then, of course, you've always got to have collector boxes, but this one is unique. Um, when I got this one out from a Kickstarter project, I literally, my jaw just dropped. This is glass, and it almost looks like silver. And you can kind of, see through the opaque glass. It's so neat.
Wow.
Inside of here was a postage stamp that, sorry, of the crown jewel playing cards, the neatest, prettiest coin, and two decks, the art edition and the classic edition. And the box that it was just put in was just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, look at that. Close that up so we can see that again. Look at that.
Isn't that thing just gorgeous?
Yeah, I've never seen that before, Mike. That is
I
really
haven't
great.
either. So he outdid himself on that. And of course, you got some of the, well, I don't know who this collector is. This artist is, I can't remember his name. He's what I call the other mad scientist of the card community. That is none other but Stockholm 17.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's Lorenzo. We can recognize his work from a mile away.
Oh, yeah. He is, I can't say enough about those two. Those guys are something else. And don't get me wrong, there's just too many others to mention. But, all of them I love near and dear.
Yeah,
Um, there's the Year of the Rat. I put that one up because that's my Chinese, I guess, horoscope symbol.
yep.
So, but other than that, let's see. We've gone down and we get down to the last little bit here. And here's the miniature. There's more of Paul. We're going to throw him out there. We might make sure that whole speech on branding hits home. See, guys,
That's
this
right.
is what, when you put your thought and your mind to branding, what happens. Because you don't just sell cards, you sell a lifestyle. And he is correct about that. These are on miniature decks. I just don't have a way to display them all. This was my first attempt at it. I'm not exactly excited about it, but it's not bad either.
No,
So,
that's fun.
you know, but not many decks get put out. You can see the Parlor deck was put out. That was a Kickstarter with Regals, the Raiden 17, and the deck. Those were all Kickstarters. And then, of course, life wouldn't be right if you didn't have a Coca-Cola or a Tally Ho or a bicycle or something like that. But those were fun. And then there's some for the antique and vintage guys. Some of these tiny little Bambi and Omega games from back in the day, oh, those are so cool.
Yeah, I think was it Russell made those? Not the Willis Russell, but other Russell company.
I'm
And
not
that's like a
sure.
small playtime Arco deck I saw there. Oh, this, Mike, this is so great. I love this. Do this slowly, please.
my wife bought me this, and I thought nothing better to put in there, but it reminded me of the old days when you went to have an old jukebox sitting next to you at the table. You could flip through
Absolutely.
these. But this display was really unique. She was excited when she got it. But
That's
that
so cool.
is really cool. The only reason I didn't bite on more of these is I would have to have had, my gosh, 500 of them to do anything with it. So I just left it at the one, and put it up, and it took this whole smoke and mirrors collection in there, and it made it look kind of really neat and cool.
Absolutely.
And
I
I don't know
love that.
what my obsession is with things that float, but I love things that absolutely float, and that's just a sphere, a small sphere, but it is so cool, along with the deck that floats. And I don't know if we paused enough over there
Yes.
for
So
the
fun.
light bulb that floats.
You definitely have a thing for floating. This is true.
I do. I love it. I don't know why it makes me happy, but it just it's got to be unique. It can't just be anything that floats. It's got to be something unique. So if there's anything anybody wants to go back and take a plug or a look at or anything like that, we'll be happy to do it. Other than that, I'll go sit myself down and we'll turn it around. And what do you think?
Mike, that was spectacular. Spectacular. If you have a chance, go look in the chat room. You'll see all these ones. That's for you. People are so impressed with your collection.
Oh,
Believe it or not, my dad is in the house, and my dad is definitely borderline hoarder, and he's impressed with your collection. Absolutely fantastic, Mike.
well, it's fun. If anybody, it's kind of a funny thing. When I very first found the card club, I reached out. I think it was Steve Bolin maybe that answers all the emails. Is that who it is? If you
It
inquire,
could be. It
could have
could be.
been. I can't remember. It's been too long ago. But I asked, what do you? How do you figure out what you need to do when you're going to collect playing cards? And the number one, he kind of connected me, who at the time I thought was Judy Dawson. It wasn't. It was I can't think of her name. She's here in Woodstock, Georgia.
Oh, you're talking about Barb Luneberg.
Barb. Thank you.
You're
He
welcome.
connected me with Barb. And I said, what do I need to know about collecting playing cards? And she said, nothing. Just collect what you like. Well, when I came to my very first convention, I walked up to Judy and I said, all those years ago when I wrote you, you told me to collect what I like. She looked at me like I had 7 heads. She's
You mean
telling
Barb.
her,
You mean Barb, not Judy.
thanks. No, no, Judy.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought Judy was one that had responded to me.
I see. I see. I see. I see.
She looked at me like I had 7 heads and said, I would have never told anybody anything like that. And I went, are you sure? So I went back and looked at it. Sure enough, it wasn't Judy. Um, but that's what started me. I never ever looked at the value of a deck, how much it's going to be worth later, or anything else. I literally just started collecting what I liked. And
That's really the best tip, right? If someone, like,
yeah,
for instance, we have a couple of new members. Brian Sarlo is a great example. He's in the room. Hello,
yeah.
Brian. Brian, he asked me the other night, like, where do I start? There's so many decks, and this answer you're giving us right here, Mike, this is key. Everyone needs to hear this, so
Mm-hmm.
please repeat it
Yeah.
for those in the back.
If you collect what you like, I mean, you can't. I keep trying. I get so many of these excited new collectors, and I love helping them. And believe me, I've even sent out little care packages to brand new collectors. They've never asked for it, and they just show up on their doorstep, and they get, half a dozen decks of cards. But you can't own them all. You just can't.
No, no. Oh,
I
and
mean,
if you win the
I'd love to
lottery,
own
you
them all,
can,
but you can't.
but no. And I tell people that. I say, listen, you can't own them all, but you can own the best of the best.
Right.
That's
So
what you
just
can do. And that's all. And then it breaks down into like a subjective. What do you like? What is the
mm-hmm.
best of the best? That's up to you. That's a personal journey, and people need to take that themselves. They learn a lot about themselves when they think about stuff like that.
Absolutely. So just have fun doing it. But I can tell you, and a lot of people that are sitting in this room can also tell you, slow down. You don't have to do it all in a day. You know, I remember thinking when mine was, I could take a couple of shoe boxes and open them up, and that was my entire collection. 2 shoe boxes, maybe 50, 60 days.
That's how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're
And
moving houses because Jackson Robinson's put out the 2021 line.
yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put a gun barrel in my mouth right now. I mean,
No, no, no. You just have to move
yeah,
to a bigger house.
I mean,
You need a bigger lot of land.
Yeah.
Jackson, if you're listening, you're you're killing us, man.
Yeah,
We
you
all have to
absolutely
move to bigger
are.
houses.
And
So, Mike, we have a couple of questions in the chat,
sure,
if you don't mind. Um,
absolutely.
if you could only take one deck with you,
Hmm.
which one would it be?
Woo, I think it would have to be my green rarebit deck because my wife scoured the face of the earth. She wasn't going to rest until she found that deck for me. And one Christmas, I opened it up, and knowing how many years she looked and searched for that green rarebit deck, I would not take any other deck out of this house but that one.
Right on, right on. And that that brings up an interesting discussion because when we talk value, and when people talk value, everything's very expensive things, but
Yeah,
no one
no,
ever thinks about sentimental value,
that's right.
right? And so, as much as the green rare bit is, it's worth something.
Yeah,
It's probably got priceless amounts of sentimental value.
that's correct. Yeah.
Good
How
choice.
many
Good choice.
how many of your wives out there would look for probably a four? What do you think that deck is? $400? I don't know.
I'll give you 250. Do I
Two,
hear
three,
250?
four, two, three,
275.
$400. Yeah.
Do
How
you
many
have it? Can you get
wives?
it so we can see it? There's some people in the chat that haven't seen that deck.
You just go, yeah. Here, let me give you a 250, 300 for. There is the green rare bid deck right there. And we'll get the shine off of it maybe a little bit. Maybe I can just bring it out, bring it down over this way. Yeah, there it is. It's better. A
Yeah,
little bit.
nice,
There's the
nice.
rare bit. And,
Theory
you
11
know,
released that, correct?
yeah, was it Theory 11? I think it was. Um, but here's the interesting thing about it. My wife travels a lot. And she tried going to that restaurant several times because the rumor is if you come have dinner and spend $100, they'll give you a deck. Well, she has taken crews in there several times, and they're out of decks every time she goes.
Aw, boo.
Yeah, so she's like, but they're going out to dinner anyway.
We want free dessert now.
Um, I don't know if you guys remember the butterfly decks, but
Oh,
that was
yeah.
one of the very first butterfly decks that was done in a prototype that he sent to me, and it was wrapped so beautifully, I just couldn't bear myself to open it until he printed the decks and got them out. So that's never, ever been opened, but
Wow.
um, oh well. And of course, the craze is right now cut decks. So
Yes. I don't know
everybody
how
wants a
like
deck
some of
that's
the
been,
antique collectors feel about this. Maybe this is the first time they're seeing this. But someone painstakingly cuts every single card into a design. You're staring at it right here, and it's beautiful, but clearly it kills the deck.
absolutely kills the deck. And that was a Requiem deck from Stockholm 17.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Stockholm had commissioned this guy to do a couple, and he said,
Is
well, he wanted
Daniel
these, but
Levin? Did Daniel Levin do this, or was this Diesel Illusions? There's a couple of guys working on
no,
decks right
no,
now.
golly, I can't think of him right now, but you're right. I think it's, who's the first guy? I think it was Daniel.
Daniel Levin, I think. I
Yeah,
could be
I'm
wrong.
pretty sure it was too. And of course, woo! I mean, that one.
Yeah.
Um, and here's its matching
I mean, Art,
one.
let me ask you a question, Mike. Do you think this is weird because I know you weren't alive in 1881, but do you feel
No.
like we're in the second golden age of playing cards?
When I first started playing with Kickstarter, there was barely a deck or, just a couple of decks you could even start, trying to get back. Now, my God, there's probably one a day that comes out, and you
A
just
deck a
got
day? Is
to,
that what you're saying? A deck a day?
yeah, no, a deck. But you got to start being selective because, God, there's a ton of these things that come out. Um, And then, the carrot cases we were talking about, here's some interesting things that Paul Carpenter did for his decks. He etched the top of the carrot case to actually match the deck inside. That's the Zenith deck that's in here.
Wow, that's
Oops,
beautiful.
sorry, I almost dropped that. That's the Zenith deck. And part of his Patreon, he did the case to match his deck, which I thought was just so cool.
Yeah.
That's
And so
his
people are
newest deck
asking in
out.
the chat, where these cases come from? And all of these cases are Sherman Sal's carrot cases, correct?
Yes, I have tried, and believe me, Sherman is like a brother from another mother. I love this man, and I have literally bought his competitor's product just to see. There's no comparison. I'm telling you, there's no comparison. If you want the best case you can put your hands on, and he is not super expensive, it's worth every penny. But he
Yeah.
has cases that are 6 deck cases. He has 12 deck cases. I mean, the new bamboo. I'm sorry, I'm going to run over here. This new bamboo. Oh my God, this bamboo is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sherman
it
has
just
really
is.
figured out a way for all of us to display our decks in really
Yeah,
beautiful ways, to show off our collections to everyone who would want to ever see it.
there's a 6 deck. There's a 12. Those are 4 deck ones, just two on top of each other. Yeah, I've got them in ones, twos, threes. My gosh, they're just absolutely stunning. So,
Yeah. Hey,
Sherman, good
can
boy.
yeah, Sherman, absolutely fantastic. I think he's in the room. I saw him earlier. So shouts out to Sherman. One's in the room for Sherman and his beautiful carrot cases. Uh,
Yes.
you have a pyramid. Can you show us that pyramid?
The pyramid's a little sticky. So, we'll see if we can't get it off the sticks. And my view around.
And by the way, Mike, this has been absolutely fantastic. I know you were nervous, but literally, I don't know how this is the best way to end day one. It really is.
Okay, so see if we can't get it. I don't think I can get it set down there.
And yeah, while you're fixing
That's
your
all right.
camera, I'm going to ask you a question. Your
Sure.
lights, do they actually affect the colors of the tuck over time? Wally Bell's asking that.
Now, the lights do what now?
Do they affect the colors? Do they grade the colors over time? Almost
You
like
know
the
what?
sun.
These lights stay off more than they stay on. So I rarely turn the lights on. It was for special occasions like this, and I've got to remember which way this thing pops open. It's one side here or the other, and it's such a sticky little booger.
And where is Chris Ramsey when you need him?
Yeah, really. All right. It's going to be difficult to get along with. But it's supposed to. Oh, man. It just doesn't want to open today, Lee. I apologize.
That's okay, Mike. No pressure. We'll just sit here all night till you get it.
Yeah, well, all right. There it goes.
Did you do it? Hey. That's
And
so
of course,
cool.
we have a gold monarch inside,
That's so
which
cool.
is truly a treasure fit
for a pharaoh.
It is. So, yeah, when you close this back, you see how it opens. And then you kind of twist the pyramid back into shape, and she's back.
So cool. So cool.
So, but yeah, lights will start to wear on your cards and start to distort the color. So 90% of the time, I'd say all these lights are just about off in here, just what I need to see or keep me focused. But other than that, sorry, I'm going to move again so I can sit down. Other than that, the lights stay off.
Mike, this is absolutely fantastic. Please show some love in the chats for this guy. Unless you travel with, you're never going to see this collection. And tonight, he was so gracious to let us into his home and share his man cave with us. If you have any questions, now's the time. We still have about 10 or 15 minutes. After this event, we're going to officially the day's over. We're going to turn over everyone's cameras, everyone's mic. We're all going to hang out and just basically chill. If you have some wine, you want to drink, by all means, I'm going to drink heavily. This has been a very long day. But I urge you to stick around, to turn on your cameras, talk with fellow members, fellow non-members. So yes, right now, we're getting the question, where are the bamboo cases available?
That's carrotcases.com right there.
That's right, Sherman
If
Fowl again.
if you follow me on Instagram, all you have to do is look at my profile, and it'll take you straight to Carrot Cases. This is how much I love Sherman.
He's a lovable guy. He really is. He's been a member of the club for a while.
Yeah.
Can I brag for a second? Can I brag? I saw him do something so genuine last year that I have to take the time to tell people about it. I know he's probably blushing right now, but last year there was a non-member that walked in, that just kind of rando walked into the room and got his mind blown. So much so that he came up to me and asked if he could buy a deck of cards. And so this gentleman, we helped him buy a deck that he really wanted. And then he walked over and saw Sherman's cases. And Sherman looked at me, he looked at the guy, he looked at me, he looked at the guy, and he gave him a case for his brand new deck and told him, take care of this. This is special. This is your new treasure. And you need something like this to care for it. And that is the kind of guy Sherman is. So one's for him. He deserves your love.
Yeah. He's always coming up with a new way of, because one of the things I talk about with creators, I think people like Sherman, is we all got decks. How the heck do you display them? Man, what are you going to do to put them up? How are you going to showcase? You saw 3,000 sitting on the shelf, and to me, that's just sad. I'd like to have them out where you can see them, but you got to have the real estate. And so how can you display these? I don't know. Maybe that'll be my next project in my life, is to create deck displays and, put them out. So,
Well, my goal is to win the lottery, so I don't have that problem anymore.
Well, there you go. If you win the lottery,
it's probably not going to happen. So I need you to come up with a solution, Mike.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any questions for Mike, a deck a day Quinn? Let's put him in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying that you're a great guy. Sherman's a great guy. You are great guys. Yeah. Really. This has been spectacular. Not everyone would allow us to kind of come in. None of us wiped our feet before we came in, by the way. I hope your wife does not get mad.
No.
Okay, good. Because you're such a genuinely lovely person to let us come in and see this collection.
Sure.
And I feel like I'm sitting on your couch. You have anything to drink, by the way?
Yes, absolutely. Come on.
Asking, where are you located?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I live outside of Atlanta, actually, up northern Atlanta. But yeah, the biggest city right close to me is Atlanta. So there's a lot of collectors up this way. None of us seem to hang out, but it's a big, big magic community here. Mm-hmm. Ring 9, we produced a lot of presidents right out of Ring 9.
That's right.
So Joe Turner.
You're in Atlanta. They want to know, do you have an alarm system? And if so, what's the code?
Yes, absolutely. The wife wouldn't, we just installed that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I tell you somebody who's got a sick collection, and that's Lee Donaldson. He's going to probably be blushing over there, but he's drinking a beer right now going, shut up! But he's got a sick
He's a Guinness record holder, right? He's a Guinness record holder.
Yeah. Lee is another one of my friends near and dear to my Lee, genuinely super nice guy. Gosh.
To be fair, everyone, we've already talked about this, but everyone named Lee.
I know. What can you say? Yeah. It's just, and besides that, he's also Jet Setter's #1 fan. I just want to throw that out.
Absolutely. I see posting in the group, giving ideas. And look, all of these guys, everyone we've mentioned so far tonight, everyone's a member of 52 Plus Joker. Again, half the people in the chat room, they might not be members. And so if you see something you like, if you see this camaraderie and you love playing cards, this is for you. Go to 52plusjoker.org, join the club. It's the best $25 you will spend all year. I promise you. All right. Keep those questions coming in the chat. Someone asked, Ryan Jones, how you doing? Ryan Jones asked, what's your white whale? But we've already discussed that. That's your green rare bit, correct?
No, that's not. Gosh, I got too many. I've got so many different ones that I want to look for that I just keep searching. Every day is like, you never know what's going to turn up. My white whale used to be Jerry's Nuggets because I had a friend that wouldn't give me a deck. He was really stingy with his for some reason. But,
What a jerk. That guy sounds like a jerk.
I'm just kidding.
If I were you, I'd stop talking to him. What a
Stop
jerk.
talking to him. But no, that used to be it. And then the green rarebit became it. So, I don't know what my white whale is right now. But that's a good question. I'd have to think about it a few minutes, but I probably could come up with a couple.
Okay. Well, we still have a few minutes. So again,
Probably.
some more questions. We can go a little longer. This is the last event of the night. We're just going to hang out after this. So, and I don't want this to end, Mike. This has been so much fun. And I hope everyone in the chat agrees. If you do, please drop some ones. Show some love.
Well, if we're going to keep playing, then let's keep playing. How about one that looks like a video game? How interesting is that?
Look at that. I like a deck that is mimicking Nintendo who made decks. That's so meta.
See, here's one it's called the Pixels, but it looks like a little video game, and the cards came out, and then the controller was, this is so hard to do one-handed, is in there somewhere. Yep, there's the little controller that comes out.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys that design some of these things, they just come up with so many fun ways to do it. They came out with little boxes like this, and you had to try to come out with the combination and get into the boxes. Things like this. This was so well put together. It really was. You look at the telegram. Received your letter. I was ending my tour in China, and will finally be home. Until that time, please find this unusual deck of cards. If you lay out every card in order in the grid, the design of the Chinese symbol for a mystery, enjoy the great Ezra. And as Ezra traveled the world, he's got his hotel, and he's got his compass, and he's got all of his decks to show what countries he was in. And
that's so cool.
It was kind of a really neat little thing that was put together. So, there's some fun stuff in here. And then, of course, branding, you got to get back with chicken nuggets, parlors, Fultons, anyone worldwide. We got Bill here that did the Skull and Bones decks. Those were so neat. I don't know what it takes for some to buy bricks, but you don't have to twist my arm much I really like the deck to buy a brick.
By the way, for those in the chat room, especially some of the antique and vintage collectors, a brick basically are 12 decks of cards. And if you think about it, it looks like a brick. And if you stack them up, you can get a home. And that's why they call it a brick. But that's 12 decks in those boxes.
Right. And God knows how many boxes are sitting in here. Sherman also makes not only carrot cases, but great brick boxes as well. That's your one-stop shop for if you want. I'll tell you another little product that if you are a card worker, Sherman has got out some of these deck sleeves, and they're literally just a sleeve that you slide over a deck of cards, and you can kind of keep that in your pocket if you're traveling like Paul was talking about. There are so many options. You got to go to carrotcases.com and take a look. He has really outdone himself, and I don't know when he ever stops thinking. He always is thinking about another way, and I think I might show you.
He's constantly trying to help the community show off our best decks of cards.
He really is. Kevin
Cini is asking if decks sold this bricks 100 years ago. And the answer is they didn't call them bricks, obviously, but they did sell decks by the dozen.
Here they are.
And they sold decks by the case. And they did, Kevin.
So see, this would be one of those deck sleeves. It looks like a plastic case around it, but and these are not expensive. You can put these on your decks, protect them. They'll stand up. They look just as pretty as a carrot case. They're just absolutely a lot of fun. They're gorgeous.
Yes.
You know, Dead on Paper did a really cool run on some decks, and the coins that he did, the old Hobo Coins, these were so cool. Back in the days when the hobos traveled the rails, they had plenty of time on their hands, so they would take our American money and they would etch these designs on half dollars back in the day. So if you were fortunate enough to find a hobo etched dollar, that was pretty interesting. This deck was going to
Oh
be
yeah.
absolutely crazy with
Chris
Dale Masters.
Mathis. I own those.
Yeah,
Those are great.
he put together this crazy thing, if I can get it out. And it was supposed to come, and I just didn't have the funds back in those days. I was early collecting, but the whole case this was supposed to fit into a card frame where this gear would match up with the rest of the stuff in the frame, and you would plug it in and all this would turn. And I just didn't have plans for it on the wall back in those days. But man, that's from, what does it say, 122.72? No way. But that was a deck of cards he created, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a sick case.
Yeah, it is. I love those. Those are so
It really
cool.
was. I look back now and think, man, maybe you should have brought the frame that went in it, but I just didn't do it. I don't know why I never did it. I just didn't do it. But yeah, but all these little things are carrot cases from Sherman. So I know I got to keep.
Real quick, can you go back and let's look at that little, look like a little medicine bottle. I know the Forest of Spades is
Oh,
doing that.
yeah.
Those are really
This
fun. I know
used
that
to
the
be
antique
really
and vintage guys
popular.
have probably never seen this.
They're just putting a single card in a bottle like this, and these are becoming really popular. You know,
What a fun way to collect
never,
singles.
I would have never thought about it, but when they first brought it out, I thought, well, it's kind of silly, but I like it. It's kind of a fun way to put a card in and display it, and it's definitely makes you ask about it for sure, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So new member Brian Sarlo has a wonderful question for you. He's asking you, do you think you're missing out on anything by not opening your cards?
Oh, no. No. Look, I have enough cards to open if I want to just open them all up, but no, I don't think I'm missing out. If I were more of a card guy that could actually do card history or, sleight of hand I was working on, then I would probably open up way more decks than I do. But since I'm just not one of those kind of people, I just don't open them up. And you talked about a white whale. I guess my next white whale would be a printing plate like somebody I know has. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I could get one day.
I think you're going to have to call the same guy who's not going to give you Jerry's.
Yeah, probably. But,
let's see the plate. Go back. Let's see the plate. Let's see the plate.
This was a fun, this was done by Black Ink. That was a pretty plate. I mean, he did this after his Kodiak deck, and that thing is just sick. The way he made that. But it's really pretty. I just can't do it justice. It's too shiny on camera. And those are some interesting cut cards. But yeah, some of these don't come with coins. They came with like these plates. This Hercules deck really came cool. With so I thought they were kind of interesting. And some of the coins that have come out are like the one that's a sheriff's badge. It came out with the Deadwood deck. I thought that was a really, really cool way to put out a coin.
100%. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I think that plays into Paul Ruccio's point of branding.
That's exactly what I was thinking, So, yeah, there's some fun things that make it fun to collect when you start putting all these little bits and pieces together. So, but yeah, guys, I mean, like I say, collect what you like. My gosh, there's so much out there to do. There's so much to have fun with. Find what you like and collect it. You don't even have to, it can be as random. Here's the old casino lock boxes that they would use. You guys talked about casino decks. This is a lock box that they would actually use to bring the decks out for players in certain games, and they would be locked. And I was lucky enough to be able to snag one of those and bring that in to hold my decks. But yeah, these are a lot of fun. There's a lot of guys
such a
out there
beautiful
doing
collection, Mike, and you have it laid out so well. I hope that this gives people in the chat room an idea on how to display their own collections, like a real inspiration here, Mike.
fun
You really are.
displays. You know, a lot of fun displays, a lot of fun ways to display them. So, yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming over.
Throw those ones in the chat room for Mike. Decade Quinn. Show him some love.
Fun.
Mike, thank you so much for taking the time to allow us into your home and to share all of your treasures with us and to give us the knowledge that you've given us and shown us decks that we would have never otherwise seen. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
And I hope it was not as painful as you thought it would be. I think it went quite well.
No, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I just didn't
think
know how
everyone
people
loved
were
it.
willing. Yeah.
I don't know if you can see the chat room, but the people are going nuts. They love it. They are so impressed. Again, such an inspiration to see how you've laid things out. I'm actually, people don't realize this, but during all of this, my wife and I are renovating the house. And so I've had to move my entire collection out. And so I got to touch every one of my cards this last week. And I thought to myself, when I bring it back into my new office, how will I display them? And so this has been an inspiration. You've given me some great ideas. Obviously, I have to call Sherman. I have to win the lottery. These are the two things. Win the lottery, call Sherman.
Call Sherman. Sherman's the man.
That's right. Sherman, if you're in the room, please drop a link to your website so everyone can go visit your website and spend money with you, my friend. You're a wonderful person, and you put out a wonderful product. We're honored to have you in the club.
Thanks. Love you all.
Mike, thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, give him some ones. Mike Decade Quinn. If you get on Instagram or Facebook, go look him up. He'd love some more followers. And if you already follow him, make sure to spread the word about him. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been day one. What do you think?